Hello, my friends. This reading is to answer the question, what am I not seeing about myself right now? But the first part of this reading is about, of course, is this reading for you? Because if it's not for you, you shouldn't waste your time staying here. And of course, we have two cards come out. Let's see. Try to get them centered. The Owl and the Wolf. So we have air and earth. Okay. All right. It would be so nice if this book had table of contents, but it does not. All right, here we go. The Owl. Abundance, clairvoyant, treasures. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. When the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon, how it can further serve your dharma and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite, so believe in abundance. When in balance, generous, trusting, secure. When out of balance, many quarrels, scarcity mindset. To bring into balance, an offering. Wolf. Guardian of family and tribe, activism, ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. When in balance, reliable, democratic, and fearless. When out of balance, judgmental, domineering. To bring into balance, practice letting go. So, if this sounds like you, perhaps this reading is for you. If it starts to seem like it's not for you, don't feel like you have to stick around for my sake. I'll never know. All right. What's next? You may have gotten some idea from those two cards what you are not seeing about yourself, or that you may need to take another look at. We have the Phoenix on the bottom of the deck, which suggests you may be on the verge of some major changes, but we shall see. Let's try the Jungian Tarot, because this sounds like a Jungian Tarot kind of question. What is it that you are not seeing about yourself? My owl wolf person, or people, I should say. This reminds me a little bit of an old movie, Ladyhawke. I think that's what it was called. About two lovers who were cursed to never be together because she was a hawk by day, and I believe he was a wolf by night. So they could see each other for split seconds as they transformed at daybreak and nightfall. But that was they were never able to touch or be together. If that has meaning for you, great. If it doesn't, ignore it. Let's see. So we have the Five of Wands, and this looks like the Magician to me. Yep. So Five of Wands and the Magician. Let's start with the Five of Wands. Mars and Aries. Assertiveness. I'll say Mars and Aries. Oh my. Whew. Action for good or bad. Combativeness, originality, candor. Great personal courage, risking life or reputation for a principle. Under negative influences, action can be thoughtless, arbitrary, and tyrannical. So perhaps you're a bit fiery in your personality and maybe not always thoughtful in how you communicate. And the Magician, archetype of animus. So this is the masculine. For me personally, this represents the spiritual aspects of the divine masculine. Absolute freedom of the true will, works of genius, imagination, innovation, invention, and iconoclasm. Independence at any price. The creator cannot be controlled. Intuitive intellect may be impulsive and prophetic, aloof and offhanded. When negative, may be fanatical and anarchistic. All right, so you have some real tendencies to dominate and be controlling here. Tyrannical, thoughtless, fanatical, anarchistic. Well, I don't necessarily think anarchy is all that bad a thing, especially when the status quo is desperately in need of reform. But let's see. So you definitely have, well, we all have multiple aspects to our personalities, but your masculine side seems to be flaring out of control and tending towards the tyrannical instead of being somebody who can be worked with. And somebody who is more creative and less destructive. So some inclination to self-destructiveness, perhaps. Well, maybe lots of inclination to self-destructiveness, although you may not see it that way. And I think not enough thoughtfulness going on. You don't think things through. So let's see, how do we cool the fire here? Enough so that you can be a good partner, collaborator, creator. In all areas of your life. All right. So, the Ten of Cups is all about the ideal family life. So it's emotionally fulfilling, all your needs are met, there's lots of happiness, contentment. You know, everyone else is looking at you just in awe of how wonderful your life is. The other thing to consider is music. Because there is sometimes a reference to music in the Ten of Cups. So you may be a musician, or music may have special meaning for you. Or maybe music helps you calm down. Because it seems like you do need some calming down. Your fire energy seems to be flaring a bit out of control. Maybe it's the Phoenix. Four of Pentacles. Or maybe it's because you're afraid. It seems that that is not unusual in my experience. A lot of fear becomes anger because it's easier to deal with anger than to face your fears. So maybe that's what's going on with you. What is it that you're afraid of? The fact that it's the Four of Pentacles suggests that it has to do with material well-being. But let's see what else we can come up with. Alright, that's way too many cards. Take this one. Nine of Wands. You seem to be in a bit of a seesaw state. On the one hand, you have the Devil, which is representing bad habits, vices, addictions, and a belief in being bound when in fact you are not. On the other hand, we have Temperance. And once again, we have the Magician. Of course, this is a standard tarot magician, not a Jungian magician. So it is reinforcing that this is a Divine Masculine reading. Divine Masculines do typically, or masculines on the divine journey, I should say, because if you are as unstable and struggling as much as it appears you are, then you are not a divine masculine, but you may be working towards that, which is fine. So Temperance, of course, is about balance, balancing the material and the spiritual. We have here a great deal of concern over the material, and you are probably neglecting the spiritual. Your Magician is the spiritual aspect of the Divine Masculine, and this is also in reverse, kind of reinforcing the idea that you are completely neglecting the spiritual side of yourself, of the masculine principles. And then we have the Devil in reverse. The fact that it's in reverse is promising. So that's why I said it looks like a bit of a seesaw here. Because Temperance suggests, in reverse, suggests you don't have balance. And you have not achieved any sort of success or lasting success. Perhaps in regard to any addictions you may have. But you have the Devil in reverse. So it seems that you are working on these things, that the bindings may still be there, but you're aware of the illusory nature of them. You're aware that they are not binding you, or perhaps you are coming to the conclusion that possibly you could break free. Maybe at this point it's just the beginnings of an idea. You don't perhaps believe in it truly. It certainly hasn't grounded. And maybe you're starting to think that the scarcity that you believe in, your sense that you have to preserve and conserve and prepare for an uncertain future, is a little overstated. After all, how bad have things been for you? And if they have been very, very bad for you, are they very, very bad for you now, or is that in the distant past? Is that something you've overcome, and why would you go back there again? Are you living in fear of something that happened in the past? Because we do have the the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups can be nostalgia. But if your nostalgia is not looking back at things that were positive, but rather looking back at things that were negative, well, that could be a problem. I think, so what we have here is, I think, a recognition that you need to work on the positive masculine aspects, and especially the spiritual aspects. And that's a little unnerving for you, probably, because it seems like you've been very materially oriented for a long time. And you haven't, let's revisit the animals for a minute. You haven't looked at life from this perspective possibly ever. And I think you thought that the wolf way of being domineering, was actually the right way to be, when in fact it's not healthy. Let's revisit the owl for a minute. Bear with me. I think there's something here. So the owl is about clairvoyance. Well, that's weird. It is about clairvoyance, but it's about abundance and treasures. It is not necessarily about physical treasures, however. It is generous, trusting, and secure, which I think may be goals of yours, but you are not there. When out of balance, it's about money quarrels and scarcity. To bring into balance an offering. What should you be offering? Because it seems that your owl is very much out of balance. What should you be offering right now? And who should you be offering it to? Death in reverse. You've been fighting off your own transformation. So it seems you should be offering up yourself and your life. Not in the sense of physically dying, but in the sense of letting go of that which no longer serves you, and of becoming who it is that you were always meant to be. Even if that person is someone you never thought you would be, never thought you wanted to be. So what is this offering? What more do we need to know about the offering this person should be making? Cards are getting a little wild. Three of Swords in a crossing position. I'm sure I dropped a card, but I can't find it. All right. Three of Swords is about grief, mourning, and especially about allowing yourself to grieve, allowing yourself to work through that process and to truly feel those emotions so that they can heal. If you have chosen stoicism and the denial of any emotions, telling everyone you're fine, refusing to acknowledge even to yourself what you're feeling, then you are not working through your grief. You are not processing the emotions, and you will not make progress. You also have the Hierophant as a block. So, you are meant to be working towards spiritual mastery. And you are meant to be heeding the call of the divine. But it appears that you are fighting it with all your might. If you are really fighting it that hard, I think you do know about it. Hang on one sec here. What are the consequences, or what is the likely result of refusing to heed the call and refusing to transform? That's odd. Eight of Wands and the Moon. The likely result is that you are going to have to go within. There's also a possibility of a Queen of Wands here. I'm not sure who that is because you're coming up very masculine. So this is my Queen of Wands card for this deck. Doesn't say Queen of Wands, but it's my Queen of Wands card. Who is this Queen of Wands? Your happiness. This is interesting. I honestly thought you'd get the Tower for fighting the divine. Oh, you did get the Tower. My mistake. Spoke too soon. Six of Wands and the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, so, all right, what happens if you keep fighting this? The Eight of Wands, you get rapid movement into, I would say, Dark Night of the Soul. And then the Tower. The High Priestess. The secret's being revealed to you. We have the Six of Wands, so that's being seen and heard. Some degree of success. Oh, sorry, I'm dropping cards all over the place. Ten of Pentacles. Let me just take a look at this High Priestess for a minute. The High Priestess in reverse. Tell me about this. So far, it looks like you're going to make things very, very difficult for yourself, and in the end, the universe will win anyway. Surprise! You're going up against the divine. What did you honestly expect? It looks like things will work out in the end. I'm not sure if they're going to work out with this High Priestess. I'm really not sure what's going on with this High Priestess. We have the Three of Pentacles, which suggests now we have Three of Cups. So a working relationship, but not a good one. And a Three of Cups. Communication, celebration, friendship. Okay, that's what you want. What do you need to know about this? This is your perception, I think. So a bad working relationship. But, oh. All right. I didn't want to say anything more. I pull some more cards. Who do you think this High Priestess in reverse is? Is this someone at work that you were messing around with? I don't know. Somebody you were playing the field with. But perhaps you've left that behind. All right, I have a question. Why is this coming up now? So there's a Queen of Wands that you think you could have a wonderful life with. That came out earlier. And there is a false priestess that you seem to have met at work and gotten involved with. And left behind. That's all fine, but why are we talking about this priestess now? This false priestess? Why are we talking about this false priestess? So on one hand we have Flower of Thunder, someone who lies, because this, sorry, Flower of Thunder in reverse, a liar, someone who will do whatever, say whatever for themselves. And then we have the Flower of Cups, also describing this false priestess. So the priestess may have presented as this Flower of Cups, someone who is emotionally intelligent, nurturing, kind, and then you discovered too late that in reality they are the reverse Flower of Thunder, someone who can be quite cruel and ruthless and dishonest. Now we have the Hierophant. What do you need to know about the Hierophant? Judgment has come out again. Calling. 7 of Wands. No, I dropped a card. At least I think I dropped a card. Can't seem to find it. I guess it doesn't want to be part of this reading after all. Alright, 7 of Wands. And Judgment on top of the Hierophant. I may need to draw some more cards, but just give me a sec here. So we definitely have a, sense of being under attack and the need to defend yourself. Are you defending yourself from the divine? Because the cards, you've got the Hierophant underneath and the Judgment came out next. So this card is sandwiched between the Hierophant and Judgment. Both cards are all about the divine. One is the calling to spirit, the other, or the universe, the divine, however you care to put it. And the other one is saying that you need to become a mentor? Or are we talking about no, it's not in reverse. Okay, all right. We have Justice in the upright, so accountability, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, bad luck. I don't think this is stuff you don't know. I'm just saying, this seems to be stuff that you definitely know, that you're definitely aware of. Do you understand that fighting the divine will lead to what you perceive as bad luck? It will lead to the Tower. It will lead to the wheel turning against you. Because the divine will teach you in whatever fashion it needs to get you to begin working on what you're supposed to be working on. You've got the 8 of Stones in reverse, so you're not working on, you're not honing your skills. Maybe you are aware of either spiritual or other skills, maybe even emotional skills, that you are refusing to deal with. You can't bring accountability without being emotionally vulnerable. And until you do that, it's likely that you will continue to experience what you consider to be bad luck, but it's really just the efforts of the universe to get you back on track. You're going in the wrong direction. Perhaps that's the message of this. Quite simply, are you still messing around with that false high priestess? Now we have the Five of Cups. So a great deal of sadness, heartbreak, disappointment. And self-imprisonment. That's a very important card to get. Not that it's good news, it's bad news, but it, if you pay attention to it, perhaps you can learn something and change this whole entire situation. So, you are in what is called a mental prison because it doesn't exist. Seed of Thunder. It's time for you to be a student and figure out that all of these things that you think are imprisoning you, whether it's your family's beliefs or standards or your own or society's, all of these things are, they're not fixed in stone. They're only as real as you allow them to be. There's been an enormous amount of social change. If you want to see examples of how things can change, and your belief that these things can't change, or maybe that they shouldn't change, isn't based in anything. You can walk away from those beliefs and live a different life. Yes, you would have to be a different person. Your relationships would change. You might lose some people. But your life is not going to improve until you make the changes you need to make. Perhaps that's what you're refusing to see. The universe says it's going to happen anyway. That's the cards that came out earlier. If you have to go through a tower, or tower after tower after tower after tower, which is destruction of your current situation, or different aspects of your established current situation, if you have to lose everything in order to get you onto the right path, that's what the universe will do. Because it looks like there's a lot of divine influence in your reading. I mean, right here we've got the Hierophant, Judgment, Justice, Wheel of Fortune, all together. All getting ready to teach you a great big lesson. Don't forget Tower right here. Also, a card of the Major Arcana. So Major Arcana cards are out of your control. There's nothing you can do to stop them. They are happening or have happened or will happen. And they are out of your control. And this means that you've gotten off the path. Because the Tower happens when you have really screwed up. When you have gone very far astray. The path back to some kind of normalcy is to be a student, is to study these things that you believe in that are blocking your way. Maybe even things that you like or think you like. They need to be examined more thoroughly. You need to examine yourself more thoroughly. Remember, we had the owl and the fox. There is a lot of potential benefit to you taking this path. The owl is a card of abundance, remember? But you're going to have to let go of your wolf tendencies to be domineering and controlling and tyrannical, and that's not the way things are supposed to be. So you're in for a lot of change. And the more you fight it, the more painful it's going to be. But perhaps, this being in the reverse, did I put it up in the reverse to begin with? Or did I change its position? In any case, if it's in the reverse, perhaps you are finally ready to learn your lessons and move on. All right. I wish you the best of luck. You have 7 of Wands is now in reverse. I don't think that was in reverse to begin with. Was it? Well, so 7 of Wands in the upright is needing to defend yourself. 7 of Wands in reverse is perhaps you're either being paranoid or you're not defending yourself from the ones you should be defending yourself from. And it could be that both things are true depending on who you are, because there's more than one person that's going to watch this. So, either way, you have a lot of learning ahead of you. And letting go. A lot of letting go. Although I don't see you being anywhere near ready to do that anytime soon. Still, I wish you the best of luck. Happy learning. And take care.